You should know that President Reagan expanded Medicaid 3 or 4 times.
I'm a Reagan conservative. Reagan did negotiate with the Soviets.
I've evolved on many issues over the years, and you know who else has is Ronald Reagan evolved on many issues.
It is worth emphasizing that Iran released our hostages in 1981, the day Ronald Reagan was sworn into office.
The mere mention of the Gipper's name makes plenty on the right sigh and hope for a resurrection of the Ronald Reagan years. We now get to see if any of those we saw on stages Thursday night can spin one-liners in government like he could. This and much more. Let's welcome back presidential historian, New York Times bestselling author. His newest book, due out in October, is Last Act, The Final Years and Emerging Legacy of Ronald Reagan, Craig Shirley, joined by the senior analyst for Zogby Analytics and co-author of First Global's Understanding, Managing, and Unleashing Our Millennial Generation, John Zogby. Gentlemen, I thank you both for being here. And Craig, I'm going to begin with you, seeing as we heard some of the folks on the stage Thursday night evoke the name of Ronald Reagan. In your opinion, who there is the best likely, the most likely, to basically channel Reagan and become that sort of a leader?
Well, John, that's a great question. Ronald Reagan wasn't Ronald Reagan before Ronald Reagan was Ronald Reagan. And by that I mean is that we now revere him and respect his legacy, and it was a tremendous legacy, there's no doubt about it. But before he was elected president, the elites didn't have much use for him. He was disregarded as a grade B actor with premature orange hair and was derided by the Washington, New York media complex and political complex. So it's hard to say. It's hard to project into the future. I can say that this is the most fluid election since 1980, when Reagan was in fact losing to Jimmy Carter late in October of 1980 until his one-on-one debate with Carter actually propelled him to victory, and a landslide victory. I don't think that anybody should be aspire to Ronald Reagan, but I think they should aspire to Ronald Reagan's principles. Some more than others aspire to Reagan's principles. I think that Rand Paul, there was a time where Ronald Reagan described himself as a libertarian conservative. So you could say Rand Paul, the intellectual Reaganism, Ted Cruz, the passionate, principled Reaganism, Scott Walker, the essential Midwestern decency. I see bits of Reagan in a lot of the candidates.
All right, John, so now we get down to candidates who would like to evoke Ronald Reagan. They would like to evoke anybody at this point who could defeat Hillary Clinton, whomever the Democrats put up there. Let's look at the numbers, because just a few days before the debates on Thursday, at the Monmouth University poll of Republican voters, Donald Trump had a double-digit lead over Jeb Bush. He was far and away the leader. After his performance on Thursday night, what would you expect the polls to tell us in the next couple of days?
I don't think any real changes, because I don't think any real bombshells last night, and usually takes a period of time for the results of a debate to gestate. The water cooler talk, the barbershop talk, and so on. So no real changes. However, over the midterm, I think that you'll see that Donald Trump probably lost some points, simply because I was looking at the debate from the point of view as who had the potential to grow an audience, and I don't think that Mr. Trump came through in that way to grow a constituency.
That's very interesting, John, because if you read again, and everybody has their own opinion, but the comments that he made about women, that he was pressed on by Megyn Kelly, the fact that he said he would run as an independent, that he would not get behind whomever the nominee was, there's an awful lot of people out there on the right who are saying these were the wrong things to say, and if anything comes back to snap him, those are going to be the ones. But you don't see that.
Well, because he's developed his own base, and his own base is that anti-establishment, anti-media, down with whoever's up base, and he's probably going to keep that. There are going to be those people out there within that base of support who are going to say very simply, ha, he showed Megyn Kelly, ha, he showed Fox, ha, he showed everybody. And then it'll slowly and steadily dissipate until we see what the follow-up act is going to be. And I, for one, am a little skeptical about the follow-up act. But if your question is in the short term, I don't know that his poll numbers go down in the short term.
Craig, Ronald Reagan always took a hard question. He loved it. And there were a lot of hard questions that were tossed at the men on stage on Thursday night. Do you think Fox went too far?
Well, that's an interesting question. I know the blogosphere is filled with complaints about Fox. I actually, in Fox's defense, is that, when Jay and Hamilton and Madison were writing the Federalist Papers and arguing for the U.S. Constitution, they said the two things were of utmost concern when it came to a U.S. president was experience and character. And in a way, the tough questions are a character test. Some of them may have gone over the line. That's for the voters to decide. One thing is for sure, though, is that it was an exciting performance, and the Republicans. I saw 17 very, very talented individuals, and I must say is that I think the conventional wisdom, which is often wrong, is probably right about both Carly Fiorina and Lindsey Graham. She helped herself, he hurt himself.
All right, so John, I got about 30 seconds left to you then when it comes to the numbers. Good point that Craig just made here. Do you see Graham going down and, as many people say, Carly Fiorina coming up to the next year?
Carly Fiorina was the big winner yesterday. There's no question about it. She belongs at the big table, and I think she's positioning herself well, not only for the next debates, but also to be on the ticket as well in the fall. So
you think, I only got 10 seconds left, but when we get the next 10 together or the big guns, Carly will be there and somebody will be out?
I do, yes.
All right, we'll have to watch the numbers, and, of course, the Zogby numbers are the good ones to watch. We want to thank John Zogby for joining us also. Don't forget, Craig Shirley, his book is out in October, Last Act, The Final Years and Emerging Legacy of Ronald Reagan, because Ronald Reagan still means a lot to Republicans these days and so many people. Gentlemen, I thank you both for being with us. I look forward to the next time we talk. Now, let's move on to the political animal. This is the time to unleash them. Left versus right, no holds barred on the debate, because there's nothing like a little debate to get people working. We'll do it next on The Hardline.